So Coi Leray's boyfriend Pressa, who's a rapper, took to Twitter and said something troubling about African American culture. He said, "Niggas be like, I'm black. No nigga, you built like a mother effing Nigerian. Americans got no culture. Their biggest culture is hip hop. Mother effers don't even know what island they from. They just black like the color." So this isn't the first time I heard a statement like this, and it irks the fuck out of me. Now, since he says black at the end of this tweet, I think it's safe to assume that he's referring to African American culture. I've heard these type of statements about the culture of America overall, but I hear it a lot when it pertains to African American culture specifically. First of all, it doesn't make sense because he's implying that African Americans don't know what island they're from, contradicts himself and says that African Americans are built like Nigerians, when Nigeria is not an island. But anyway, let's take a look at what a culture is. Alright, so a culture is defined as the beliefs, customs, arts, etc. of a particular society, group, place, or time. And another definition is a particular society that has its own beliefs, ways of life, art, etc. So, just to highlight hip hop for a second, I think what happens a lot is that the music is kind of at the forefront, and we forget that there are dances, there are also art that are some things that come from hip hop. But a big problem I see in media is that black culture is often reduced down to just being hip hop. And I think this happens because hip hop has become very influential and has extended into other countries, and is from a country where the overall culture is influential with Hollywood and so on. But anyways, let's dial it back for a second. Black culture is not hip hop culture. Hip hop comes from black culture. There are various genres of music, food, customs that are unique to African American culture. You have jazz music. You have many artists who have been here before hip hop that are here. They're not hip hop artists. Not every black person raps. Not every black person listens to hip hop. Not every black person that makes music makes hip hop music. And African American culture doesn't revolve around making music. There's a certain way of speaking, a certain way of dressing in African American culture, and not to mention some of these things have been influential to other groups. There are also customs that African Americans have, but for some reason it gets forgotten when it comes to African Americans. What I think happens a lot is that, when residing in a particular place, certain customs, events, or habits become normalized. So I'm sure many times some people might overlook a culture they're actually partaking in, and it gets minimized compared to other cultures that might be foreign to the overall majority, because they stand out more. So I get it. But, Pressa is a rapper who I believe is from Canada, and I find it insulting that you have a guy that benefits and gains from African American culture, and he's making these type of comments. And currently there's some serious debates about topics pertaining to race, and the last thing we need to hear is from someone with influence that African Americans have no culture, because you might have some African Americans who might co-sign this idea. I think too many times African Americans compare their culture to white people, and so we look down at our own culture. Look at how we celebrate European designers over our own. There's nothing wrong with European designers, but I think we need to have the same amount of respect for our history and customs as well. Anyways, that's it for now. If you can, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'm out.